Okay, how do we get ready? Getting ready for the return of Christ will qualify you for rewards. And you don't get ready by maybe sitting in your house or in your room and be waiting because he's coming, you are waiting. You have to be engaged in doing the things Christ wants us to do. How do we get ready? Number one, you must first be born again. Get saved. Give your life first to Him. That is the first preparation, first readiness. When you ask people about salvation, the way they will respond and their attitude towards you will be like you are speaking from the moon. They don't understand what you're saying. I should get saved. I was born into a church. I've gone through baptism. This is my baptismal card. I've been a member of this and that church for long. I pay my tithe. I attend church regularly. I'm a member of maybe women's ministry, youth ministry, men's ministry. I'm even an elder or a deacon or whoever in the church. As a pastor, I've met pastors who are not born again, who are not Christians. And it's pathetic to sit under a pastor. You don't know his spiritual state, his salvation status, and you believe in such a person that he is helping you to know God and know Christ and get saved and get born again. And the person who is leading you, who is behind the pulpit, he himself is not born again. How is this person going to help you get born again? In our Bible college here, people come to the Bible college, and if somebody comes to Bible college, it means he is one of the best of the church leaders. That is why they have found in him calling or ministry, and therefore they've sent him for training. He's the best Christian or leader in that church. These people come here, and when you present the gospel, salvation, being born again to them, they give their lives to Christ. The one who is the best in his church is not born again. So you can imagine the other members in that church. Salvation is a serious thing. Knowing Christ, giving your life to Him, is the first step. Wow. One time I was speaking on TV, interview, talk show. When we finished, the host, he asked me, he said, Papa, anytime, you come here to talk, you get me confused. I always hear that you are saying things that seems true to me, but it's the first time I don't understand what you're saying. You always talk about being saved, knowing Christ. How do we know Christ? We are all Christians. Even I'm a deacon, I'm an elder in my church. You say I should get to know Christ. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying. And that very day I told him, I said, I thank God that I've been able to confuse you. If I've been able to confuse you, it means I've done about 49 to 50% of your salvation. Because what has happened to you is going to cause you to seek the truth. You are not saved. You don't know Christ because the gospel is the truth. So when it comes to you, it must not confuse you. If you are saved and the gospel comes to you, you will understand it. It will deepen your faith. It won't confuse you. So if you say you are confused about the gospel, it means you've been deceived. You are into self-deception and you don't know. I know in this church, some people, they are here, I watch their lives. And their lifestyle and their attitude to church and things confuse me. I don't know whether they are saved or not. Because whenever you get saved, you begin to produce certain fruits. Your desires, the things you value, and what you talk about will begin to change. I'm telling you, they will begin to change. When you hear people giving excuses why they are not doing this, they are not coming to church, why they are not doing this, you must understand they have different desires. They have different desires. Get born again. Check your salvation status. If you are not born again, there is nothing that Christ can use you for, apart from using you to fulfill evil prophecies that are supposed to happen on this earth. The righteous people are here to be used to fulfill holy and righteous prophecies in the Bible that are supposed to happen in the end times. And there are evil prophecies around. Should I give you a typical example? Typical example is this. The Bible says that when the Antichrist comes, the Antichrist, the Bible calls him lawless man. So if he's a lawless man who is going to lead the world, do you think that one person can just rise up and say, let's abolish every law around? That isn't. The laws that control morality and people's life are our politicians and our judiciary. They will begin to change the laws around to bring flexible, living in our society, that kind of thing. Let me tell you one example here. Hamas people, they entered Israel's nation. The Israelites, they were having their festival, so they were celebrating it. Innocent citizens who were not armed, they were just there partying, singing, that's all. And this Palestinian group called Hamas entered their camp, took children, women, old men hostage, and knifed some of the children in front of their parents. They cut them into pieces and burnt them alive. In this modern world. And when that thing happened, all the Islamic nations, they started celebrating and jubilating around. The Israelites are saying, okay, if this is what you have done, we will retaliate. They say, hey, people should come and free Palestinians. This is nonsense. This is what we call lawlessness. And we are in this country, and some Muslim guys were, protesting in this country. And we have leaders here who can't do anything about it. Go to Germany, go to France, go to England now, go and do that there. They say if they see you around protesting, it means you support terrorism. They will arrest you and deport you to your country. In Russia right now, if you do that, they will arrest you and imprison you for between 5 and 15 years. That is where laws are. Do you know why we have laws and we have governments around? God put them there, and He gave the word laws. And those laws, they are there to protect those of us who will not pick guns and knives and weapons